This is your last one and a courtesy call.
Hey guys, welcome back. Bomb here, bringing you our very first episode of our Sun and Moon competitive analysis series. Now, if you guys don't know, Guardian Rising's SM2 in Japan recently got released. I believe it was released to the public yesterday, so I wanted to go over some of the cards. Now, as you can see, I already uploaded my analysis set for my set analysis for the whole set with my boy Stick. So if you guys want to watch that, go ahead and check that out. It'll be an annotation at the end of the video. But I want to go over individual cards, their total potential, how I feel like they can impact the meta, things like that. So I'm starting a new series where I just kind of go over the cards and how you could build with it and what it can do and things like that. So if you guys are excited, go ahead and drop a like. If you guys want to see me do this more often, lots of likes, lots of comments are greatly appreciated. It kind of shows that you're supporting the series. That way I can do more of these. And go ahead and suggest down below what card you want to see me do next. Now, there's going to be a couple cards we go over that are from the new set, but bear with me because it's all supposed to be surrounding Metagross. And yeah, I'm not the kind of guy to script my videos, but at the very least I kind of plan these. So, you know, like, forgive me if I'm not as smoothly spoken as TCG Radio, that boy Wasi. But yeah, we're going over Metagross. Now, let's go over what makes Metagross so cool. I mean, you guys excuse me as I kind of go between tabs and whatnot, or between pictures. But we have Metagross here. So if you guys don't know, Metagross, Stage 2 GX Pokemon with 250 HP, which is a lot of HP, a very nice amount for a steel type like Metagross, very bulky, weak to fire, and it has a 3 retreat cost. Unfortunately, he has a big fat retreat cost, but we're going to go over why it's okay that he has such a big retreat cost and how we can work around it. Now, Metagross has 3 really cool things going for it. First of all, its ability, a Geotech system. Once during your turn, you may attach either a Psychic or a Metal type Pokemon from your discard pile to your active Pokemon. Energy acceleration, that's huge. It's something that every card loves having, especially since you can attach to yourself if you're active, which is phenomenal. Usually you're going to be attaching Metal. I've been digging through and I can't really think of any cards that would appreciate Psychic support that are super competitive or will be competitive. So let's just focus on the Metal fact. The fact that you're going to be attaching 3 Metal to yourself, or a Metal to yourself, you can attach from hand. If you have more Metagrosses on the bench, you can attach more to the active. It's similar to Bronzong. If you guys remember Phantom Force's Bronzong, where once per turn you could put a Metal energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. This one you can just do to your active Pokemon, which is phenomenal, meaning your active Pokemon can attack easier. So, its second thing it's got going for it is Giga Hammer. 150 damage, its Pokemon can't use Giga Hammer during your next turn. Okay? It's 150 damage. That's kind of huge. We're going to show ways to increase the damage later in the video. But for now, that's solid 2-8 KO potential. Okos things that are weak to steel, like Alola Ninetales that just got released, Glaceon, things like that. So, really cool attack there. And Algorithm GX. Search your deck for up to 5 cards and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It's similar, like this 5 card from the deck thing is, I guess that's like a metal thing now, similar to Solgaleo GX, where you can take 5 energies and attach them to your Pokemon. You can just take any 5 cards and put them into your hand. Now, it's a great GX attack if your opponent can't shuffle draw you. If they can't play Judge or Ann or Red card, which, if you play this early enough in the game, maybe they don't have it by then. That's going to be really nice. Also, it forces them to play that supporter for the turn, as opposed to something like Lysander or Kukui, Professor Kukui, or Sycamore, or something like that. So even though you may not keep the cards, you can force your opponent to do something else, which is, I think, is really, really nice. Plus, if you get it off, you just have a perfect setup for your following turn. And most of the time, not most of the time, but a pretty decent amount of time, your opponent can't do anything about it. Especially if it's early in the game, or maybe they are down to 1 card in their hand and things like that, you know? So I like the GX attack a lot. Now, Giga Hammer GX, the fact that you can't attack with Giga Hammer next turn is kind of annoying. You can always mitigate that with Ranger, Pokemon Ranger, getting rid of the effects of Field, which is also nice if you're fighting a Glaceon deck that makes you not be able to attack. That way you play Ranger, you can attack with Giga Hammer again, and Oko the Glaceon since it's weak to metal. But one thing that's really cool is the fact that it's a 3 retreat cost, right? So if you have, ideally, let's just go ahead and say you have 2 Metagrosses set up, all right? This one Metagross, you retreat. You have to get rid of all 3 energy, all right? And then you bring in the new active Metagross. Then you use both Metagross's abilities to attach to the new active Metagross. So that Metagross already has 2 energies attached to it. Then you just attach a 3rd energy manually, and boom, bam, you have another Metagross that can attack. And you just cycle through this nonstop. If you have 3 Metagross on your bench, you're in a perfect situation. Now, obviously, it's a stage 2. It's not going to be super easy to do, but it's one of those decks that like are slow rolling at first, but once you get it set up, it's beautiful. Obviously, there's other cards that appreciate that kind of support. Since it is a metal deck, other cards that are going to like it are cards such as, let me get up here, Magearna, because Magearna has the ability to make your Pokemon with metal energy attacks not be affected by anything besides attack damage. So things like Froakie's Bubble won't affect you. I guess an attack that disrupts your energy won't affect you. And then we have Genesect. Now Genesect is really cool in a deck like this. It gives you a basic attacker, 180 HP, drive change, which is going to be really helpful later when we introduce things like Choice Band and Floatstone, right? And drive change meaning you can attach a tool card, and then you can put it back into your hand whenever you want. That's really nice if you want to attach a tool card to save it so that you can sycamore your hand away. And your hand away, way to keep tools on the field that you want to attach later. And then we have Rapid Blaster, 100 damage plus 20 more damage for each steel energy you discard from this Pokemon. Once again, since you can accelerate energy to your active Pokemon, very nice attack, very easy to use, stuff like that. So I like Genesect in this deck. Magearna is good if we ever get into a format where a lot of paralysis or burn or energy disruption or stuff like that is big from attacks. So 2 really good cards that I like, but there are other Pokemon that pair really, really well with Metagross. First things first, let's go over one nice way to increase the attack damage for Metagross. We have the boy Dhelmise. Now Dhelmise is 120 HP psychic type Pokemon with a 2 retreat cost, weak to dark, unfortunate, but it's got a lot going for it. Its attack, unless you run a psychic energy in your deck, you're probably not going to use it. Its attack is decent though, right? Anchor shot, sending damage your opponent can't retreat. So if you have a lot of free retreating Pokemon your opponent has, they can't retreat because of it. Very, very nice attack. Then we have the ability Metallurgy. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong in the comments down below, please. As long as this Pokemon is in play, each of your metal Pokemon attacks do 10 more damage, okay? So we have our 3 Metagross, and let's just go ahead and say 2 Dhelmise on the bench. You're hitting for 170, all right? 170, it's a nicer number. You can knock out some Pokemon and Okos with that. And combine of these 3, 180, really good number, all right? But then we also have another card that was very nice. This was introduced in the Sun and Moon expansion set, so we might be getting it in our next set. We're most likely getting it, and that's Choice Band. Choice Band's a really nice card. It's a tool card, and this Pokemon, the Pokemon that this card is attached to, does 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX or GX Pokemon. So now your 150 attack does 180 damage. That's enough to knock out things like Tauros, like about every EX in the game except for Zygarde. So like, and it just guarantees 2 KOs even if your opponent heals a little bit with like things like Pokemon Center Lady. So I like Choice Band a lot on Mega Metagross. Combine that with Dhelmise. If you have 3 Dhelmise on your bench plus a Metagross, you're hitting for 210. That's a lot of damage. That's enough to knock out most Stage 1 GXs. No, every Stage 1 GX I can think of, at the very least, unless they resist. I think maybe Wishy Washy GX might resist, the new one that we got. But regardless, you can knock out those that do with 210 damage. So there's a lot of ways to increase numbers. You have things like Professor Kukui that can even put 20 more damage on there. So right now we're in a format where metal Pokemon can increase their numbers very, very nicely. So I like Choice Band in this deck a lot. Now, the fire weakness is really, really annoying because we have cards that are being introduced to the format like Turtonator and things like Volcanion that are already super annoying as far as having a fire weakness go. So there's a brand new stadium being introduced called Altar of the Sun, SUUN. SUNNE, that's what it is. It's a stadium card, so it's probably going to be your stadium of choice in this, and especially in this upcoming format where Volcanion is going to be ruling a lot more because there's a lot more grass out there, because there's going to be a lot more water, and it's just going to be like a huge cycle. But Ultra the Sun is good because all of your metal Pokemon have no weaknesses, which means your opponent's Volcanion, they have to steam up 30, 60, 90, 120. They have to steam up 4 whole times if they want to get a knockout on your Metagross if it has no weakness, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. Because a lot of the times it can't afford to do 4 steam ups. You can only have so many energy in your only so many energies in your hand in a game. And the cool thing about Metagross is that if you're doing the whole retreat option where you're retreating for those 3 energy cards, you can play cards like Max Potion. Because you're so fat, you can take a decent hit, retreat, reattach your energies using its ability, and then max, before you reattach, Max Potion, and then you can start reattaching, and you can just do that a couple of times. So I really like Metagross for that fact. I think Metagross has a lot of potential, and there are other cards too. Now, Metagross's GX attack kind of makes you, it's one of those GX attacks that you're probably going to be playing very early in the game, because chances of you getting 3 Metagross with all 3 energies attached early game, probably not going to happen. So you're going to be using your GX attack early game more than anything. So we have a new supporter card called Hala. It's a nice new draw supporter. Now it has it's another shuffle draw card, which our format really needs right now. Thank God we're getting this. Shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 4 cards. If you've already used a GX attack this game, you draw 7 cards instead. So if you're in a situation where you have a bunch of really good cards in your hand and you don't want any Sycamore, but you want to make sure you get lots of cards because you can't end, because end will only get you 2 or 3 cards, then you play Hala. You shuffle draw, and since you probably already used your GX attack, you draw 7. I'm talking a lot. So that's really nice for that. Hala is going to really support a deck like Metagross where you're using your GX attack. Things like Solgaleo, like decks, some decks will really appreciate Hala, and this is one of those decks that are going to really appreciate Hala. And now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking that don't know too much about the set. Garbodor beats this, because if you can't use your abilities, you're boned. Well, fun fact for all of you, we finally, and I mean finally, got 2 removal. And not only just 2 removal, also stadium removal at the same time. Field Blower. If you guys don't know, Field Blower is an item card. You can choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards in play. Both yours and your opponent is important, because you can discard your own cards if you don't want to have them attached. So you can choose any combination of tools and stadiums and just completely discard them. That's really nice, because you can get rid of things like Fighting Fury belts on like things like Darkrai that you're not going to be able to knock out because they have a belt. You can get rid of your opponent's Darkrai's experience share. Speaking of Darkrai, you can get rid of Garbodor's tool. So the ability lock won't matter as much anymore. You can get rid of Float Stones, so your opponent has a lot harder time retreating. You can get rid of Spirit Links before they Mega Evolve, which means people are going to have to be very careful about when they attach their Spirit Links, which is really nice because that kind of screws up how big or small their hand is. There's a lot more potential in the format now that we have Field Blower, and it's going to make ability focused decks such as this Metagross deck really nice. Now, it is kind of difficult to get a stage 2 deck like this rolling, so you're going to need a lot more support. So you're going to have your Shaymins, you're going to have your Sycamores, you're going to have your End, you're going to have your Hala, but we did get one spectacular card that is going to support a lot of decks, especially before rotation, before we lose Shaymin, and that is the girl, the monster, the money card, the reason why this new set is so hype, Tapu Lele. Now, Tapu Lele, not only is it good in this deck for its ability, but it's also good for its attack too. GX attack, you're never going to use it, but we can talk about that as well. The ability Wonder Touch. If you guys don't know, Jirachi EX from Expanded, the one that lets you get support in your hand, and Lugia EX that we have right now, they just decided to like get together, make a baby, create Tapu Lele. That's what happened. Wonder Touch. Once during your turn, you may play this card from your hand onto your bench. You may search your deck for a supported card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So that's really good in decks like stage 2 decks, because say you need that supporter, say you need rare candy, for instance, and you don't want to play Sycamore, you don't want to lose cards, you don't want to play N. Well, you could always play Tapu Lele to get Skyla and use Skyla to get a rare candy. Boom, bam, shabam, you're set, you got your Pokemon ready. It's really fun. It's really good. I think it's really cool. I like Tapu Lele. You can also use it to get out of sticky situations, like play your Sycamore, play your Ends, play your Holas, play your Hex Maniacs, things like that. So shout outs to the girl Tapu Lele for being in the format. Much needed card. So boom. And then its attack is actually spectacular in a deck like this where energy acceleration is big. Energy drive does 20 damage times the number of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. Very nice, because now you can charge up a bunch of energy on one Tapu Lele and just hit for a lot of damage, especially if your opponent resists Psychic or they're playing a deck that uses a lot of energy themselves. You can punish them for that. And you don't hit for weakness or resistance, which is why it's similar to Lugia EX in that fashion. It has no weakness, unfortunately no resistance, but no weakness is huge, and only a 1 retreat cost. So Tapu Lele, marvelous card in this deck. But yeah, that's actually going to be everything that you need to know as far as Metagross goes. Let me go ahead and switch things up to TCG. Now, I did build kind of like a makeshift deck. Ignore things like this. This is going to be replacement for Tapu Lele, so that's going to be a Tapu Lele. These are clearly going to be Delmai's 4-2-4 line, because I feel like getting 3 Genesects is like the goal of the deck list, or 3 not 3 Genesects, 3 Metagross. So you're going to want a 4-2-4 line. Only 2 because of item lock being a thing right now. 1 Genesect, pretty big. I don't feel like Magearna is necessary right now, which is why I'm not playing it myself, but we have other cards. We have our 1 Escape Probe, 2 Max Potions, 4 Rare Candies, 1 Super Rod, which could be replaced with Super Stretcher depending on how much your energy is important, which we can talk about Super Stretcher another day, but it gives you the option to put either a Pokemon into your hand or 3 Pokemon back into the deck, but it doesn't let you do energies. I'm not too sure. That's something I want to test myself whenever it comes out. Tool Scrapper, which is just a replacement for Field Blower. You want to have one of those just to make sure you don't have to deal with Garbodor as much. 4 Trainer Mails, because you're playing a Rare Candy deck, having 4 Mails is kind of important. 4 Ultra Balls for your Pokemon, 4 VS Seekers. Also having 4 Ultra Balls is nice because you can put your energies in the discard pile from Metagross. Of course, we are playing our 2 Shamans for that consistency. We want to make sure to get everything out right away. This is just a replacement for Alter the Sun, but Alter the Sun is your stadium of choice in this deck. 1 Hex Maniac just to deal with item lock, because you do want to evolve using Rare Candy, so Hex Maniac is kind of important there. 2 Lysanders, because Lysander is good. 2 Ends, 1 Hala, just put a Birch in there as a replacement, but Hala I think is going to be kind of nice in this deck, but you could always replace Hala with a Skyla, might be recommended. 4 Sycamores, and then 2 Choice Bands, which is a muscle band right now. Clearly this is the deck list that I'm going to try once we get the cards for sure. I feel like it has some potential in the format right now. Obviously it's supposed to be a Lele, I think I already said that, but this is actually the Metagross video, so let me know in the comments down below, how do you think I did with this video? It's kind of important to me because I might want to do more of these, but if they don't do well, I'm probably not going to do more of these. It all depends on how the reaction is, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. As far as announcements go, thank you guys all for being patient with me. As far as the Dark Rising Nuzlocke goes, the TCG videos goes, school's been troubling. We're not troubling, just busy, I should say. There's not really any issues going on, but I've had a lot of busy work going. I've been really sick a lot lately, and I've been trying to get over it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do more of these. Let me know if I forgot anything about Metagross, or maybe you don't think Metagross is that good. People do like ratings. I'm gonna give Metagross, it's a tough call, right? I guess between 3 and 4, maybe 3.5. I guess between 3 and 4 somewhere, because like it's a good card. I feel like I would give it a 4 for sure if it wasn't a stage 2, but the fact that there's a stage 2 kind of knocks it down a little bit. Its metal typing is really nice because not much resists metal besides water, and you can deal with water, especially whenever Rough Seas rotates out. Then you 2-hit KO water or Oko water. So yeah, let me know down below how you would rate this. Let me know what you think of the card. Let me know what cards you want to see me in the future. If you guys want to, people that do comment down below answering these questions will get a chance of winning a couple of PTCGO codes. So let me know down below all those things. Whew, I hope you guys liked it. I really do. I worked really hard on getting all this stuff together. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.